yɛnkyɛ nkora no yɛbɛfrɛ ewura brother odue yɛ mo anyankopɔn ɛhyira no ama no saa nimdeɛ a ɛte sɛ yie ɔsan so onyamesuro so wɔ ne mu nti no bɛgye di sɛ yɛbɛma yɛn biara no ɛbɛyɛ nyankopɔn ne pɛ nti yɛkra do ɛsɛ sɛ ɔkoma nyame ɔnhyira yɛn owie a yɛde ayɛyɛ so ama nyankopɔn amen brother odue yɛ mo sɛ wɔ hɔ a ɛpaakyɛw take over why. Hello.
Hello, hi, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm very excited to join you tonight. And then I was told, sir, we'll be talking about investment now in parts us here in Canada. And then I'll try and be quick and give us some ideas on what an investment is and why we need to invest at all, and also the areas that we need to spend time in terms of investment. So, in Canada, no, your investment be by your investment via an investment that say obia to me, because there are some investments. Anytime you talk of an investment now, the idea is that you are putting money down today and hoping that money will grow so that you can realize the benefit of it in the future. And anytime you talk of investment, you have to have a goal. And I will invest to do what? If I will invest as now they are called talker, or be invest for the future of the children. They are doing what we call generational wealth management. For the years to come, the children, great grandchildren will always have it. And so all those kind of investment have types of commitment that you have to do. And anytime you talk to a very good investor, the first thing to ask you is what is your goal? Why are you investing the money in the first place? Is it an emergency fund? Maybe why you're investing maybe two now no, or the cost and all those things. And to look at these options, I mean, every investment and what you need to do. And every investment, what we call the risk tolerance. Investment we are sure we already say you are willing to lose. Say about investment no year. About how too much and about affecting your future plans in life and these are the two basic things that you have to look at anytime you are trying to do an investment: your goal and also your risk tolerance. By investment, when it comes to investment, there are different types of investment. There are mutual funds, your real estate investments, have some also equity financing investment available. There's also stocks and bonds. And so I mention all these type of investments have different type of risk tolerance and what they are there for. There's also the tax-free savings, of course. That's also there. So every type of investment and what you want to use it for. So for example, if you're investing in tax-free savings, you can use if you want to do an emergency funding, if you are BB2 now or use scanner, you don't need to do RSP, because for your RSP for retirement until to be your RSP, not see 1 year or gonna call you scanner or call you scanner, my obey taxa. Abandon tax no na obey tax one this scanner can income na tax no biome. Around the day no you are losing. So in that aspect, no, the best option for you was to invest in the tax-free savings. Baby bar and you shouldn't mix your priorities when it comes to investment. Obviously, I'll see all your stocks, because what they say, you invest in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and those complicated. Those are investments that have the high risk. And to know where investing will seek our so also we already say, baby bet me as here, we seek no bet me as and to know so we investment if you are your generational investment or so your investment beer. The future generation. And normally you have to focus on equity financing or real estate financing or real estate investment. And from time to time, so the Bank of Canada owns issue bonds and stocks and if the government of Canada bonds are more secured bonds, and when we say BBR Secrana government bet you back and also guaranteed. And in a nutshell, no, not to get things complicated, but when it comes to investments, normally, no, you are dealing with an investment broker on your commission, or just say anything, or venture into so many things. In Canada here, no, now personal, how do you call it, finance or banker. I've say invest in mutual funds because mutual funds, no, own invest in Osika. I want me, I be kakra to gold, kakra to cocoa, kakra to say, if those items goes up now one year, Osika. But from me as an investment analyst, if you ask me, the best investment, the best advice I always give is to diversify. Until you be aware to me, Osika kakra, you only say, who is share any necessary, and you share. Ebia stocks mukakra bi if we are not research nti company we so cost through and on say as a company gains no so banya kakra senior amoye vaccine recently no mum got Pfizer for stocks kakra no on say obusika na cost through those things what musika because there could be a problem selbst the way to about now stocks in why then I drop it if you don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to investment when it comes to real estate so I won't say of late obia the niska call real estate. And what happens in real estate, and yes, sir, real estate never form, but the government can bring in regulations. Who are we investor? No? If, for instance, right now, capital gains tax about 25%, 50%, and so on and so forth. One short year, now by own say, this real estate, they can increase the capital gains room. Yes, I won't say what your lawyer, what your accountant, what your different people. By the time we see coming. And so you have to diversify. Where diversification, cut down crana, cut up now again. And from my perspective in handling investment, the best investment has always been to diversify based on your risk tolerance and how much money you have to invest at a time. And so I just want to make it a very short presentation today when it comes to investment. So, like I said, the summary said there's tax-free savings that you can do, emergency funding, and for year there's no tax. And at last time, I can say sometimes any investment that has high returns, always have high risk. And to me, we say, oh, investment be a good partner. There's not really an investment that is very good. Right now in Canada, one of the best investments that we have is second mortgage lending because who know who the second mortgage and also better interest because some person loses fee, and then share and risk. Returns are high, but still there's a risk involved. Because if the person is defaulter, if you're a second or third lender, by the time they pay first, second lender, never come and I divide the amount. And there's no really a best option out there, but the best option is to diversify. And in the nutshell, that's what I have for you tonight. And I will be able to take some few questions and then I'll run away. Hello.
Eti tax-free savings, investment. And I say saving. Because I'm here, so me who say investment. This is investment.
Okay.
Investment.
Okay. So tax-free savings, acquire say investment. Government the buyer because of the fact that say obia arrest most of the time to me scan normal cost spending that later no tax high at a high rate. And so they brought what they call the tax-free savings. And the reason why I invest in this most of it's kind of the one and said and yes like if you have savings account, I can say 2% interest rate and I say anything. They actually diversify that portfolio for you. And a big share mutual funds. The only good thing a woman say, and no, anytime you tax you and free investment. So the only thing I want to say, every time you file with tax, government gives you a room. And to make us say you have 400,000, what you call 2 tax-free savings, tax, I would to me the investment. Bank to me at the Akoshe, or to buy how do you call it? Mutual funds for you. To me, yes, the reason is there's a room So time I buy every year beyond they give you a room. And so I think that right now maybe I'll be a room crash from the time on you see if you want to cry 50,000 ABB. And you know they give you that room every time you file your tax, no more increase. That's why it becomes an investment. It's not a free range. I watch with the sicker share now. I'm say okay, they are giving you 2% and not 3%. Your bank actually invests that money for you, and then based on the liquidity rate, no one interest on it, and that interest can be or cash tax free.
Okay. Let's just say, any investment I also control say, and then 30,000 to account, and then 10,000 to account. Then beyond, and last year, your friend catch say, man gauge.
Yes, and then when you invest with all
because we come to account tomorrow. What can you say? Too much sky. How?
Yes.
And then investment. No, I mean,
yeah. Yeah, investment. Into the whole year, sometimes this year, tax rate savings from 6,000. And Obi or an idea, I'm more introducing maybe in 2000 and I think maybe the other year, I think 11 from now. I'm starting almost 5,000 a year, and I'm 5,500 per year, and I'm increasing the cost 6,000. And who are all those years now? So area from starting from 2009 to date. Now won't claim if you are adding in our client investor, but I won't invest more than that because you are gaining from it tax free. And from investment perspective, your advice is use that money for more like an emergency fund because you cannot control it. And I can say if I was 30,000 to account, I want to me.
What can I say? And then become a second question, Pacho. On the years are a tax free, no. Actually,
from 2009.
It didn't say somewhere for some years are tax free, no. My first can be out tomorrow after 3 years, and then be Mr. TSM tomorrow. That's 3 years, no. Maybe earlier tomorrow, I now say, I'm start here and I don't want to know.
No, but tomorrow, from the time they started to now, so check, I think the maximum room were about 75,000. And to be honest, because almost starting, I think in 2012, 2012, not that's first linked by 5,000. And at 2013, I'm on the 5,500 by and yes, couple in 2015. 2015, things were hard, and I'm going to increase it as really limited to 10,000, and I'm going to start to sell more. This year, 2021, limiting here 6,000. And what I did from the time they started, I think you see, sorry, they started from 2009. And if you add everything from 2009 till now, once the maximum over to me, I show about 75,000. I won't rule limits now.
Okay. There's a few years 6,000. That's a more room that maybe more than 6,000 too. That's
okay.
I'm not betting on that's it.
Hello, maybe it's a question, Kakra. Okay. Me Okasabi can be
but you are body wine.
Your friend Enoch, within the Enoch.
Okay.
Or can be for real estate, the risk in real estate. Or can say man or can say government can do something and you pay more to some people. Remember like Ms. Rena will throw more light on risk in real estate and elaborate on the now which I am Mantias.
Okay. Yeah, now we can say real estate. No, I'm for Obia Union Obia Kasaukas. The real estate is the best investment. Nobody is saying it is not, but I'm saying that in real estate, there are so many rules and regulations that can happen. For instance, the government wants to regulate now. Right now, if you buy real estate and it's your principal resident, now they are fine. But who thought now we are as an investment, you have to pay what they call capital gains. And I'm saying that the government can change the capital gains rates, and you have to pay that. Yes, I won't say investment in good in to amount for right. Over to government don't have of scanner maybe I will turn out 100,000 or 50,000 belongs to the government. What I say now other things one follow tax here, then they can come after you. So the real estate is the best investment in terms of long-term investment. But we are flipping me and I can and real estate, who your real estate are. Of course, say there are 5 risks in real estate. There's a legal risk, there's a location risk, there is also what they call the market risk. I'm talking about the market risk, and also there's the liquidity risk. And to real estate, real estate, real estate, you're more of like investment are more solid. Nobody can take that from it because Canada, we have been stable. But I'm saying that that's not the only investment out there, especially if you're doing short-term investment. If you're doing a long-term, real estate will always win. But even aside from that, there's this risk that I've mentioned that can also hit you. You can be in an area, if the location is good, if something should happen there and the area is not creative anymore, it will have an impact on your real estate investment. So that's why I feel that.
Did you mean that all investment properties now say we are? You're going to pay a percentage
gain,
to the government?
Yes.
And it's called capital gain, which is
Yes.
not the case for a primary property.
Yes, primary property, you don't pay nothing.
And
so
normally,
where
normally what is the percentage?
Right, so it's real estate, we're looking at 25% capital gain. 25%.
Okay.
Yes.
And under what circumstance does it go up, and what can you do to pay less to the government?
Normally it depends on some planning. Maybe you have some investments. I mean, you were managing the place. You have some capital losses that you've incurred in the past, and so on and so forth. But normally it's hard for that to run away from that. The actual rate itself is 50%. Of what you get. That's what the government has on their website. But if we accountants say 25%, because when we're doing the calculation, there's a way we can reduce that by another half.
Okay. What about somebody who owns a holding company? Does it apply? Does it help?
Yeah. It helps. It helps because a holding company gives you what they call it's a tax plan strategy that there's always loopholes in the tax law. So accountants and some strategists came up and said, I could do a holding company. It's better because what you are saying is that because you are still in the investment, you're still investing in a corporation, the tax rate then becomes 11%, right? Because they look at it as a corporation now, not as you as an individual gaining from the proceeds. There's also advantage there, but that way you can also just take all the money and just go and spend it. It becomes the business income. So the business now makes us and a business now if you are 11% tax rate instead of 25 now. And as an employee, you have to pay yourself dividends, right? And so those are tax planning strategies that accountants use to help reduce that. You're right.
Okay. Are you an accountant that people come to?
Yes, please. Yeah, those are the things we do at work here. We specialize in tax planning and analysis.
Okay, thank you so much.
That's what I do. So anytime on helping that side, you can come see.
Okay, thank you.
But the holding company is what maybe will help you reduce about waive of about up to 30% in the tax. You are right on that.
And who does the holding company? Who is it? A lawyer?
Oh yeah, I can register a holding company for you. That's not an issue. We do that at the time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hallelujah.
So, I might be able to take maybe one last question because I have to run.
Okay, Mr. Odoi.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Meeting the argument. My question is say companies be or fund the mortgages. Freebie Canadian Mortgage Incorporated. The answer fund mortgages, especially residential mortgages. Now, until me investing with those companies. Okay, but so who bet me, amami knowledge can create was I don't know.
Yeah, actually, that's the best way to go in recent times because if you have so actually what they do is that they do what they call second mortgage lending. And in Nusikana who invest or more government of Canada, because they are backed by fiscal regulated say almost what means as can for OB. And the second mortgage rate, I will check out and say, I'm to have 12%, 13%, 15%. So it's not much. I'm going to pass it on in investment in our mouth. Until 100,000 every month, you can be getting about 830,000, 850,000 in your account. But among that company, they make money from the lending fees. And among 100,000, money per corner ABR. 90,000, but the patron will be paying back about 110 because 10,000 will profit. Now, we are one for 10,000 now. That's no. Do you understand? And a strategy that they used to regulate, and they are regulated by fiscal, which means that if something should happen, fiscal will come and back them. So it's very much regulated. That's one of the safest ways to invest as well. Second mortgage lending, yes. So that's what they do there. And they also help people to enter the market. For instance, you are going to buy a house, you said you need 10%, 20%, but you don't have the money. You are short by maybe 20,000 for closing. They can borrow you that money for a year at maybe 12%. And it's also good for you. By the time you 1 year comes, your house will appraise. Your house value will be up by more than the 20,000. They will then. The reason why they are comfortable in giving the money is that they know that the real estate market will go up for them to alleviate that cost. So that's why they do that. So that's an area that we also do. We set up those companies for people. We also have investment companies that we invest in. But that's where the money is right now.
Okay, Mr. Odwemi, that's it. Later, my contact now, yeah, take it from there. Why?
Okay, thank you. And
that Enoch Epe in Trimu about capital gains taxes now. I ain't know. I don't see for person Bemwana.
So on to all. Makada. Now to be here. But now I.
Okay. And now at the Enoch Epe in Trimu, no man who say, oh, ne, yeah, brother, Audrey, call back and forth. In the capital gains tax and come in where fear and our shares be what tongue. Say ni say property be 100 crown on ton ya. Enyam memu ye. Enti menstru. Say nyame ya adom na scabi na person investing in more properties. That is fine. But the easiest way to get around it, and now all say also timinya holding company. For now, because of the unyan ton capital gain tax, ye can wasem no. Enyam memu ye. Ebe muhwena. Wofie be mienu from government perspective ne trese ba kope na wa wutim de aka no government in hu say investment and into woton income awunya ho no eno na government no twi bi akọ nti no ma oyem nhyeso se nyame ya adom na odom no ho na companies ni bi ana properties ni bebra the best way around it is say we betimi register a holding company. Say nyame ya adum na ebe dɔɔso na woton bi a watumi ahide wo profit ni bi kakra na presiding so also your former presiding the sifu ono so line so so ono so wonim de wo ene topic na esi ani so a ye pese ye ka ho asɛm no sorry say mrenti no yenua odo yentimi ene ya nkomu bebre and any your topic in where to invest your money. My example say RRSP, RESP, stocks, cryptocurrency, real estate. Brother Audrey, any afemu in a high level. In the Mejama at the Sifu na what was so. It drew baby na I was here movie Bemunswa, Beba Mbi. In the other Sifu Bacho with me at Twasso.
Yo, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I think Pacho, me make a quick comment to be war. Send our kind of capital gains, and TFS, and sana yako details of the RESP and not me person me the kahono. And he said our kind say so be a with him. I send the ade kind a pepe wo kromhano or houses 10 kura. One is the exemption. Pa ne abandonment on coin say you can exempt it. And this our estate planners here, we look at it. Now, bet me exempt, per se doesn't have to be the one you live in. Now, better we're exempting depending on the capital gain. That's your capital gain now. Obi our house price now the toy your friend ACB actual cost base. Time I will turn your friend fair market value FMW. Into the difference between the ACB and the fair market value becomes the capital gain. For example, what a house $1,000, what on $2,000. 2,000 minus your ACB, which is 1,000, is the profit of 1,000. The tax on the capital gain right now is the 50% of the gain now will make you. Until 50% now you have $500. And when I follow tax, all say they can manage it to pay about half of that. And then the other day also kind of say they know who be about holding company. Who taught this kind of properties now? Ownership matters. It was registered to who? And was it spouses? It is a whole holding company. It's not just like you register a holding company and you become entitled for the lower tax. Is the ownership also matters. Now, if I say be our house back or Toronto, or house back or if I say it be St. Catherine. Now I mean fast but who told me what about Toronto? You don't have to exempt the Toronto one. Estate planners will direct you which one to exempt because if near a was in Catherine and making more profit, you can use your one-time exemption apply to that one. Now, the other things on the say, if service say we have ways and means that we call something spousal rollover. You can roll over the second house to your spouse that when you die, your terminal returns will be a tax out filing your friend terminal returns. If they will not tax your terminal returns. So there are ways and means to do this. You don't need only accountant. You need an estate planner. You need a lawyer because also there's a way to put it in a trust. Just a quick comment on that one. I mean to America and call TFSC. TFSC now Mr. Paddy A. Bisahuasemono. The whole point in a tax-free savings account, there is a contribution portion. Obia usika odekwa to it's after tax dollars. Into contribution, so contribute to 200 to every month. 200 and there's no tax. But 200, at the kwa ebe odekwa to investment kwa odekwa to returns investment na ebe wo so no. And no na we investment a year tax so. Into what we invest 10,000 when you're $200 at so. 200 no na year tax so. Into if I say what tax bracket year 30%. Abani tax of 30% on the 200. And when Abani di BBA by your friend tax-free savings account. I know 200 never also no. Young tax so it's your own money. But unlike who go invest in mutual funds and returns will be taxed. Now most people are no makasa a year. A lot of people walk into the bank and I tell us because can we open tax-free savings account amount? No one can yes. 90% will be a share them besides say tax-free savings account now will be a man. What do you call to him? Most of the banks, all that they do is that they take your money and they put it in GIC. GIC doesn't mean it's bad. It's a guarantee investment certificate. That means you cannot accommodate to home. A sovereignty. Now, oh yeah, GIC for about 1 year, if you remember 1% and 0.05%. The only thing is that infrastructure about the tosso no issue. Into advice kakra me wo when they say wo bank. Now who be a TFSA accountant. Investigate. Say who a long-term planner. What are the investment vehicles? What are the choices? Don't just put 10,000 there's a year fund to GIC now Jato for 5-10 years. You will not be rich. It doesn't work. We have to have a little bit of knowledge. Now, people have a trust in the banks and the bank building. You need a proper financial planner to advise you to direct you if you have a big money to invest. Because in your banks in one year TFSC, a lot of companies, insurance companies, finance companies do TFSC. In terms of what you can me cheap in now answer your RESP, make sure say I can continue and also do a question on that.
I say, the sound would then just say, bank for no omudi someone see which may use can every other akope anya more interest than today.
Obia TFSA account for kwa obia no obetumi a transfer for kwa pese woko. But the only thing they say, what transfer you have to ask of the maybe one farm to GIC, if you could have local in for accommodate to be a woo year if you want there's fee. Because we invest there's a front load fee, there's back end load fee, there's administration fees. And the man quite so could you, but you have to find out what are the fees.
Okay. Make sure because any land the way I say the more the winning corner, they can never bomb by. That's it.
Yes, sir.
A tax free now wokano midin the argument. Tax free now wokano. Okay, send I can just say GIC one colloquial with GIC hona. Send I can just interest in this shop and now be beat. Until you can say option other option band will be to me. Still I fall on the tax free no, but I know if you are interested no be a bit favorable kakra. That's
it. Very difficult to recommend a specific investment. Oko Bank they have type of investment where you could be a managed account, it be a GIC, it be certain Mr. kind of, it be create government bonds. And even GICs need to when you lock in a redeemable GICs. You can redeem it at any time. It is so be more redeemable. Remember, the interest rate doesn't be less than one local in. It's a very difficult say because even I'm dealing with a 15 insurance companies. Obia GIC process and type of investment will be different. And it means me can say, I'll pick this investment because I don't know what Mefane say TD or RBC do have. What you need to do is say when your idea and say, is this short term? Say I'm is this short term or long term? Because a short term and when you answer the bill for baby sabi in an investment be answer open for so was no. It may cost you buffer. And no can be about risk tolerance. Can you tolerate it? That will go up and down? Or what the person when you 1% or the 2,000 to what 2%, $40 and a bit or so. What that no other? Which one do you want? So it depends. What they ever to us.
But you'll bet me out to us. Why?
Okay. But on that, and a day besides a meeting Kasaka Krafa RESP. RESP, what is Registered Education Savings Plan. And no, any RRSP, let's talk about a couple. So RRSP, a Registered Retirement Savings Plan. Sika what they to on a dacha uko retirement where you know kakrana or the abobra. And a RESP, Registered Education Savings Plan. Ne pote yina say, what this sika to ho. Na what the abua wo ba dacha suku ko. And the botai pa enono. And I am person ye nyina ye pia juju say krom ha wo ye bibi biara na wote registered. The word registered and let us say aban sawo. Bibi biara bia akwa ye ref. Bibi biara akwa ye registered. And let us say aban ensa wo ntu bon say aban sawo mo a taxes bi wo won chen a and ye registered. TFS aban sawo ba tax ni hu nti won tin say ye registered. Nti RESP no ya ade a wo any aban in a campum no maye. And this a wo ye RESP a ye won ye friend no subscriber. Subscriber ni ye wa wo di sika no to ho. Subscriber ni ye wa wo di sika no to ho. And na ye wo beneficiary. Beneficiary ni ye onipa ko adaachi or the beko school and as or the behwe school kwa brabom. And I do I bet you school calling yes school fees in one a yen yama be brain. It is a subscriber no ye obia what is the kind of to obey to me a subscriber and bet me a mamma be mamma papa AB as a joint subscribers. Papa kwa AB grandparents and I say godparents subscriber can be a father, mother, grandparent, or anybody related. Now, ubie RESP ama akora na akora no nso can have more than one RESP. And sebio se memfa say bia wo baby na wo ne maame na na papa ne nti wo na papa no pese obie du TD. And as a papa no pese obie du Georgia C for ho. Na maame nso pese obie du Georgia C for ho. You can still do it. A two separate way. Na mo ne etene say wo ye RESP a wo sika na wo de to on ye friend wo contribution. Na aban no wo sika mienu a obetumi de aba abeka ho. Aban sika mienu a de beka ho no ye frɛ baako a grant. Canada grant eno no ye nea aban no e de eba abeka ho ama akola no. Ena nea aban sign de ka ho no baako nso ye frɛ no learning bond. Enti ye wo CSG Canada Education Savings Grant. Ansana ye wo learning bond. Na Canada Education Savings Grant no. Obi bia akola bia ye entitled up to 7,200. Up to 7,200. And CLB, which is the Canada Learning Bond, no, akola bia ye entitled up to $2,000. And akola bia, I will explain that. Now I don't know, based on a certain income, CLB, no, but grant in the akola bia ye entitled up to 7,200. And the service we income here 10,000 a year. No be income here 500,000 a year. Move education plan now. I buy the war 20%. As it can be a will every month no, or the back account. And for example, say we $100 that month no, I buy the $20 every account. We 200 I buy the $40 every account. And we a basic grant opia enyebi. It has nothing to do with the income of the subscriber. Why we use it? Nemo, abana ye bribia a top up. You were 30% and you were 40%. Instead, say, Anka we 20%. Based on income testing, say, be will make it every year. Abana one your friend low income threshold. And to find say be a this year, say be a family income near 41,000 or something around that price. Now say be a ubi RESP ma ubana. The first 500 now what better one. I buy the 40% and I ebeka eno. And what you know ebeka be or the better one money be no 20%. And I between 41 to about 72,000. I buy the first 500 and I buy the 30%. And I ever come. Now, a no chino or the 20%. Into where Yashi Korano, finally said, what the income a dose into a colonial 20% on top of Niawi Biara. And he said, yeah, finally said, so, oh, Colana will be education plan man in year number 1. I buy the grant, no, a year 7,220%. Ebe sika no ho ato se akola no bedi 17. Nti year akola no bedi 17 no, the end of that year na aban sika na or the ka ho no etwa. Nti say ye wo ba July na o di 17 years this year. Sika we na aban de bi baba be kan wa akopim December 31st, 2021. Na je say aban sika no de ba no etwa. Na opese wonya aban sika nyina. Let's say we share center. So we have 20%. Now we started Akolano from year number 1. Let's say we contribute to between 160 to about 180. So we started year number 1 in order to get all the government grant. And sometimes you can 7,002 now. People can say, hey, it's not saying no, but so when to me and contribute from year number 1, how you are Akolana with 1 year, no. About 160 to 180, I will not buy any second if 20% in a winner. Now, let me quickly talk about me. Call fast, I can say will be a time beside the question. Because I know one year can want someone in me Rashika cry. It is a Canada Learning Bond. Canada Learning Bond in a year. Akola will qualify. Me find the main kind of basic say akola bi ane maame ana ne papa nkan be a single mother, single father, or income ye very low, or munya high baby bonus no. Akola ni qualify for $2,000 lifetime up until say OBD 17. And he said, "Omo ya wo for mako wo nanse year no go so wo hwa na abane de let be abro say be a wo ban qualify for learning bond of $500. Learning bond of $500. Nietini say uko unya wakolana na ubie education plan mana so we qualify for sa learning bona and it doesn't base and nyina usika wodi tumu ho na ejina su nyina ni say we bie education plan na ma akola no abane the first $500 ebeto akola na education plan ni mu amount. Now from there no every year August 30th abane the $100 ebetum amount as long as you qualify for the learning bond. Until we go akola na first year onya 500 obedi 15 years no na weji abane no 2,000 no every because every year onya 100 for 15 years which is 1,500. Until learning bond no any grant no it doesn't matter for kwaba could be education plan no abane share the same bank, insurance company, scholarship company. There was so many education plan company. And no any abane the ampese make one sanka abane sika no akwala bia betumi anya up to 10,800. Although who are the 7,002 plus 2,000 now we are 9,002. But because of the 30 and 40% now ewo hono akwala qualify betumi anya up to 10,800, which is really good money. Which is really good money. Now, and he said, your father said, abine sikana or the mark Colombia near the same. Why sometimes we recommend other company better than another. Ejina agent, yeah, ejina wonso opinion, ejina senior, obi wo say no, media me pese bank in Kwana me koye madie. Obi a right to do that. Now, so year education planner, and mostly idea me pese ye nyina ye share nso ne say. Oko bi wo bank I had to say TFS ya ye ken. Oko bi wo bank no. Were you able who share fa ko mo di sika na eto. Sika na wo de to no, wo share said the omode to. And na unya report every year. Wo share say aban ni sika na eba. Grant in the learning bond and one because spelling mistake of one with a dean spelling back year CR reform first canema. There's all making sure so we now will report every year. Okay, can almost say me 100 and I me 1,000. I buy the 20% every month the beto and now one farm at all. And so making sure say and because so we'll be education primer colano. Now we'll share at the end of 17 years now. Say you invest in the papa pa. Sometimes you know, sikana everybody tosono even they can become more than a bit me have more than even a buying sika. Yeti ati say every month now we use 200 a buying the $40 a kahon. That money is invested and every month is reinvested. Into investment na eba be tosono eboa pa nti ese ohye ne nso pa ana ye won ye friend individual family plan individual education plan e just say so we be individual na akola bia we be one education plan ama wo ba number 1 we be one education plan ama wo ba number 2 to nkola 3 a we between ya 3 different education plans. When your friend also family plan, Profu Bisam said, near when a year. Near when a year no per se is not the correct. May find say, yeah, to answer that question is very difficult because I recommend this and fancy be our kola wedi kind, wedi 2 years. Well be individual amano. wasen awo baako wadi 1 year wabie bia ma no individual ne boa ma wo hu akola bia sika wo de to wo ma no na mo fa se bia wo akola miensa na bia one education plan na baako di 12 years baako di 10 years baako di 7 years se wo akola miensa wo hwa 12 years no aka ne 5 years no wadi 17 10 years no aka ne 7 years no wadi 17 7 years aka ne 10 years no wadi 17 ebia akola miensa nyina nso no ebia owofo no hwa ebia 400 na obetumi di ato ho ama wo mo nyina enti wo chiche mu a sometimes no ube say akola na wadi 12 no so wo man $100 a month ube say every year no tua 1,002 and it's 1,002 times 5 years no you realize akola be di 8 17 or oko school no contribute to only 6,000 and let's say enye enough and sometimes now often one say okay I didn't na me your family plan na me first scan nyina ngu me fa say kuru abaku eba ne sa na e advantage na wo disadvantage because akola na edi kan no the 500 ni nyina to won ntino and 400 ni nyina akola na edi kan e bia na sika na abam ne 20,000 ono betumi yusu sika ni nyina wan hwa na akola na edi su no nso no omo nya binti ni nyina gina awofo no any will go anyhow our person wo ye no obo o say ya me penisa because e bia o madwuma na say me dan equity binti ni o second one me bia boa no. It's all about planning. Until there's no yes or no answer to that. Until your individual plan and your the family plan. Until your choice. And I said, who your education plan and so on. Over to me as a sub-beneficiary. Question yet about pa person me here no answer me bio kwanka kra to one and they say. Question and they say akolano anko school. What happened to the money? Now, obi our education planner say akola no anko school. Me fa say obapani ka say onko school. Enye school kwa me fa say school na amafo adwene ye say eye say oko Humber College and oko York. But education planning is good for training and apprenticeship as well. Inti one go school na bia okoya apprenticeship be register as long as a CRA4 website no education plan is useful. Secondly no education plan say a base akola ni beko school most of education plan enya dia ye di sika no kwa akoma school mu hofo because education plan is not for tuition alone. Sabi akola no epeka obetina mu dia ko school ultimately the top car man or the go school, books and career, ni fees. And to be a far colana hon nedia, or the go school nedia, it ultimately is kind of manner. Now, and I say, to me, transfer education plan, amanemia, it has to be a blood related sibling. And I say, adopted child, into Ninia, a yemojemia, and I say, Ninia, or adopt to a colano. It means yes, I may transfer my warfare. No, it doesn't work like that. And your warfare said, yeah, a blood-related sibling. The other part is say, I call it be anywhere. Over to me, I transfer education plan amana. Who are the options? Say, over transfer education plan. I to RRSP. And then find say education plan. I call it school near collect we need sibling beer. Obetumi de akoto RRSP mu. Now, wo transfer akọ RRSP mu a obe lose portion of the money. Ni aban ne be de be ka ho ni nyina ebekọ back to the aban no. Wo transfer ma ne nua de a. Se ni nua no enya 7,200 from aban no ho de a. Ni nyina betumi akọ ho. Se so emu have ne betumi akọ ni nua no ho a obetumi ayesa. Nti so wo nua no mienu a you need a very good planner. Near transfer chimua, a binding can be chima commanding you no mienu. I answer fancy beer, all the commanding me about now 5,000 a binding sika by any room a 2,000. 2,000 pen ever qua binding Nimiano. In Kai 3,000 back to a bind. But so what they call RRSP mudia. all the grant and the CLB, the learning bond, a back to Aban. And for sure, when you know, say, interest are ababeto sikanosono. Nedia, which me the Nina, Aqua, and Usika will contribute in Aqua Show RRSP. Remember, say, interest never toss on a new Usika and one. Abani Sika Kaho, and I invested na a bibetoso. But Abani say, Obama will come out the Sikani in Aqua 2 or RRSP. The reason they say, Edu Mra Wuyi RRSP na, Abani Benya or taxable. Into Abani in your worried. Who you RRSP is taxable based on your marginal tax rate. Into as I was shedding some. The third option, they say, who ye RRSP, now say one transfer to RRSP, now RESP no, or canceller, who sika what they are to winina ubenya back, but with caution, depending on the company no fees are homogeneous. In fancy be a RESP education plan. Nasa Kolana Uncle School. One transfer money near Nasa o Jiwusika. Ubenya Osika minus the fees. Fees in it, each company calculation is different. Each company calculation is different. Now, what happened to the interest now betosono? Interest now betosono are buying say the first 20%. Or G. In this interest, about to your 5,000. I buy the bedroom 20% because I buy this all the 20% never can usika. Now 80% now can what year as it's all the final tax at the end of the year. They will tax you again on the 80%. And the education plan, the purpose of part there anka odi ko school. Say akolani do mra oko school. How do you take the money out? And they are very, very important. And when sometimes, you know, we look be a market company, we say, no, this is the company, a Kolani school, because we do in Mra, who is scanning then, so no, as he had a Kolani Beko school, who ye a company ben of flexibility. Company no one process it is saying, requirement is saying. And when we hear somebody like myself, you just who walk into bank and they will just give you what they have. But your choice. Obi or trust banks, you know, trust we. Ebia, me amika say me yej mama RBC, me yej mama BMO, but I don't me juma me yen me yema BMO bank, me yema BMO insurance, RBC insurance. But Oko bank and our product is different from BMO insurance, RBC insurance. Eti esa wo hwe sa ne man say akwara ne beko school a omo uyi ne a kwambe na eye service kan e da ho na wonya report no say the report bro na e say wonya 20,000 20,000 e bi a wo contribution ye mu 10,000 aban there ye bi a 4,000 interest abeto so ye 6,000 nti sa akwara ne beko school a ebeboa so benya obi advice so na wa kire o say ye aban ni sika ne first Udi any a interest in to us. So we say, "Can you know to us now? Answer me go school be a second year, third year. We see come song. Now, most of our Yisicano. That's where you would dear now who want to do 200 dada. Now, buying dear or what dear, abandoning Aqualanding go school, abandoning Beijing Sika. But the question is, Quafa warrior one more mouse have flexibility, no, and as a one more mouse have flexibility, no. And then I say sometimes we will be able out. Lastly, American, how do we guarantee your money? Some company do 100% guarantee, 80% guarantee. A big currency need guarantee one. How do you know about all of this? A kwambe na abefa swemu. Ni nyina gina kwanya ene obi a woni na edele ho. Nti me pese ye be jata kakra time ko. Ma rush through it. Obi a question be say that be ma ho kwambe 5 minutes be a. Now, you answer question later on. Will be our person contact me. You between the home. God bless you. Amen.
Tija from more na ibisibisa. Apa the Rama is here no.
You are the sifu. Pacho me busa question to so edikan. Pacho ebia na oni park no ekobie accounts no. Obehwe na sabi onya nimde no nti no obie individual ne mabɛyɛ mmiɛnsa obi and the enko anaasɛ bi a onipa akono ebi a family one sese no wanya enimdeɛ wanya ntiaseɛ kakra ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkɔ baabi kora ɔkɔ bie no na ɔstretch no ada sɛ obi a individual de ba family obi a family or de kɔ individual options bi ɛwɔ hɔ saa obi betumi ayɛ saa de no
depending on the bank Mantachi RDSP, you will be a registered disability savings plan for special needs children. Now, above from na bibi to say RBC4, they can only take one subscriber. And it's a moya wire for Kurana, say back open a register. They see, or my creative system, they can take we joint subscriber and they can do all this like separation. But depending for when Nipani BNG, Nipani just a Ubisa bank and they say, what are the rules? And a quite on first watching, can they identify Akola 1, Akola 2, Akola 3, how our government and the buyer omuchichemu? Because the difficulty part and then they say, if we 500 now, abandon 20% but 2 more. Say, we don't know, say 500, remove 300 yakola A, remove 100 yakola B, remove 100 yakola C. So I'm not sure how on yes calculation. Maybe what they would do, they say, I don't know, then let's start another file for this person or something. A little tricky depending on the company.
Yo, question etosumi no wokasa akola no enya 17 years fa na option no asa nti ya fan say obi ba edru that level when you be about 16 15 now the contribution is very very low. The maximum amount a buy no play so obi betimi a contribute to a within a year pacho ebeya
mostly na buy no allow 2400 na buy no to me de ne cap no de beto so. In fact, if you are 2400 na Emma Hokwama about $200 a month. Now buying 20% na beto, but lifetime no wait me I contribute to 50,000 a makola. The only thing that happened is say previously nowadays we can do it, but there's a strategy how to do it. Me fancy last year when be a makola, but when be this year. Maybe I want $400 I'll bet to every month. Say so the 2 money do 2,400 now. There are other companies that we can backdate to last year and collect the one from last year. Not all companies will do it, but there's a way to do it. And to wait me no, but in the lifetime in a year, 50,000. And a RESP no so no. And yes, I call it 7 Joko school now. We don't have to take the money right away. Obet me RESP no up until 31 years. And now RESP no so no anyone can open. I'm saying me say that a registered education savings plan. Now you're telling us a education plan is not. So we know yere kura ho am betumi abia we yere na de beku school and as we na de beku school. The only thing they say akola na do more than 17 years we be RESP we nya bibi amfi aban ne ho. But RESP is not restricted to nkola. Nyonti a aye nkola education plan ye nia ye nya fi aban ne ho. Nti sisi ame we metumi abia RESP account. But I'm not getting any grant from the government.
Umbacho question.
Hallelujah. More question.
Me we are now at so. Question to so biem. You who say ye manom any of us no mo school na OSAP ni ade omo apply. Nti obi a owo eye RESP impact ben na enya ewo ni OSAP application.
No,
or RESP it doesn't have much impact on OSAP. OSAP is based on Sukua Woko, distance, or family income. And this normally I do encourage people to apply for the OSAP because so who Ontario now apply for OSAP. You were portion a buying the chow. Ne was portion utiaka back. The last is when you OSAP $6,000. Now a buying a move free 2,005. When you apply, that means that what you are buying a 3,005. And sometimes it's better who take your OSAP and then you request your RESP and pay the portion off, the one that you own OSAP. The only things I remember say at the end of the year now, or I'm so gonna me charge a year ration into no, who will draw sikana. Why and some now will draw sikanako because who were subscriber and our beneficiary. Now, me fancy see me be go school now me request sikana. I have to tell the insurance company and I say company corner me RESP. One can't one sometimes they won't they do what they want. Open sikan wo udimu and as a ubani dimu. Now, say me jisikan ewo mimi dimu. Now me request the contribution portion and I'm good. It doesn't affect my income because it's after tax dollars. Now, most me request sikan na okay. Interest never talk no portion can mommy I made my banner there. Then I have to file the tax, my tax with that money. And that will cause my income to go up. Taxable income. It is a whole request is can sometimes a better say Ober request is can or akolani dimu. Idea about where akolani dimu is a beton accounts. Do you trust to say akolani beton account more? A bit to your school fees in one sub account. Do you have control over the akolani account? Those are the things you have to consider. Native about akolani accounts ma one say Ober na akolani on year juma. So basic income I had the file tax it doesn't affect the taxation. And now I say or year income bracket no very low. And you have the option to choose who would draw the money when the Akoran Bible school. You have the option to do that.
Zapadi Mbacho, obet me out to us why.
No, I'm bizarre.
And to bet me a beer coin say Obi war assembly.
If I tell Robert Mason,
Koso Pacho.
but person bizarre question about that RRSP and the tax free. Come on, some. Now, RRSP and the tax free no. Say, meet me boabo says the Kayano. Me boabo no say batching, and then I'm there. Ebakrama ho. Na bele me busa say eno so ewo impact bi ewo government retirement plan ho ana. If we say so obi ye adwuma na adwuma no ye kuruso adwuma na ye manisika. Now so call unemployment so ko pesika kakra. Itimi ka kire wo say agise wudi de adwuma de ma wonu wie ansa na otimi apply unemployment. Into the question goes here, sir. The RSP and answer tax-free savings at Mabuanoa. Is it going to affect my government retirement plan, another government retirement money, whatever in the future?
But Jamaica that dead in kind of way to us. RRSP any impact on your CPP. RRSP ya wa modern wa invest usika. And abanama every year be approximately 18% of your income, not say invested. And our CPP Canada pension plan is based on sending our file with tax. And if I say maximum this year is around 59,000, about 60,000 approximately. So when your income about 60,000 now, one more to the maximum CPP. And this year to maximum CPP for the past 7 to 10 years. Now call retirement. You get the maximum CPP from the government. So you are self-employed. Now every year now file income of 20%, 20,000. And who CPP near to into bonds of retirement, you know. Now we CPP ni as compared to Obia offering income of 60,000, which is the maximum. Until we CPP ni Gina with income, and there's a calculation, there's a formula to calculate it. If you have fresh CR, between calculate what the amount. And it said Obi income year 60,000, 45,000. Now we income year 22,000. Modu CPP, amunya the same money, a different money. But RRSP there, Obi to me na RRSP by 200,000. Yet in say, with the RRSP that one now the age 71 now. Obi to contribute to age 71. From age 71, you have to convert it into something, some different vehicles. And be taking and time because RRSP between age 71. As you convert it to annuities or rate for whatever we're planning to for your retirement. But there our impact on all of this, other supplement income abane de kasika. It be a GIS guarantee income supplement. And why I quite to say social be internet says you or be RRSP. A so will benefit or send your CPP maximum. I won't qualify for all this GIS supplement. But in terms of CPP and RRSP, it's two different things. Who qualify now every month? We have 20,000 for one. And I let you hard we can find.
But no, and one wakano. Anything in short, affect you CPP no. Aha, name say withdraw you RRSP no because of say bia what say we so much. Sanya that can some benefit bia ye dey top up with CPP no because of so what a lot of RSSP no. Remember we income no akosoro into those benefits in bia na unsa an can be. And it doesn't affect your normal CPP now one kasa wa bomoden aye adwuma e de ato ho no.
But quickly, so who are a very good financial planner, yet me ma wo ye bibia ye frɛ no Pausa RRSP, and I said credit sharing, retirement credit sharing. Into wow we penny ubemano, we income was through, from there's a way to share that income to reduce your tax. There's a way to do it.
Okay. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I don't know but for everything you say. Very young one you did not query. Now, me bring na to far. Anything I can say, me demon say, Mama, investment who to come at the end, question say, buy no. Am I who here say, you shouldn't to me years, say, bear, taxing, say, corporation, and I say, call retirement. You say, Madam boy, no, I saw a back. It's not, the event say, me for say after we know and then me am pebrena in share sang and before we know one on one na we say someone no me be dem so train the me who says kra na wo kra on be a church so be na danda na the udi abeka one ma so say in your mara mensa na on ya bon pa be 4 or 5 is here okay yeah, but they will take you on my announcement now.
But then we shall question.
Eh,
And but my uncle, my
call. Is that why?
Okay. If I say me, we shall say.
Why?
Major brother Odroni.
Koso.
Argentina, since I'm back home, I'm in a GST. That's Obia Faria in Santa Fe GST. I don't think I'm in a million.
I'm saying a big jam on our could be our accountant.
Okay, yo.
Accountant and that no file a tax in the man. There's a cover letter or the tariff. I will, as a Ochro say, Ubinya GST and as a Wunya GST. The reason here Wunya GST. Well, say you were it's a whole valid tax. You were it be a friend credit and a refund. And the idea what they can why amount credit, the amount refund. And the more follow tax, will be the best people to answer this question. Maybe a China may insurance president. May link BB with that and a trust and will account. Then I will talk about it briefly. Why?
Okay, you Martin, and that's it.
The Brabants are fire.